Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Why was that so weird?
This is a very serious podcast today. Guys, I don't know. Hi, welcome to the Miles with Moms podcast.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Whitney.
I'm Olivia.
I'm Trisha.
I'm Shanna.
And we have a special guest today, Francesca Barbetta. Is that how I say your last name?
Yeah.
Yay. Our very fifth co-host. But we are going to be putting her in the hot seat. But I think next time we record, we do need to figure out who is introducing, the order of which we introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
It's
like
always just for fun. What'd you say?
We could always do like alphabetical order or something.
Yeah, there we go. That's good.
I always go last, right, Trisha? Do I go before you? I go last.
I think I go last.
There's the problem. I think we isolated the problem right there.
There we go.
Problem.
Oh,
trying to wake up.
You never know what to expect. So if you're new and you don't know, this is a podcast for moms who run by moms who run. Our goal with this podcast is for mother runners everywhere to never have to run alone or feel alone in their mom life struggles or journey to accomplishing big goals, because guess what? Taking time to take care of yourself and to chase big goals as a mom is not only okay, it is awesome for you and everything that you're teaching your kids. And I truly believe that today's episode is going to show that with Francesca's journey. So you'll hear all four of us on, sometimes less because of mom life, sometimes more when we get our act together like today. Woohoo! And if you're listening with little kids around, don't, because I'm sure we're going to swear with all five of us here. So
especially with Francesca and I, like, let the F-bombs rain.
Oh, I'm learning new things. So Francesca, okay.
And Shanna.
My mother, she's like, I'm South Philly Italian and I don't talk like you do. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really don't know. Like, we're just different people. Like,
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, I like that. That's what I should have said when my parents listened and heard and then never listened again. Like, Whitney, that's in public. People, things are on the internet. It's there. And I'm like, okay, well,
I know.
here we are. So this podcast is brought to us, that sounded weird, by a sponsor. And I think Shanna wants to talk about this sponsor.
Yes, me and my bloodshot red eyes.
Because she was racing on the track last night, guys, not because she was dancing on tables. Or maybe she did that too. I don't know.
I'm just gonna do a little bit of both. Maybe I did a little bit of both. That's how us moms roll. We could do two things at once. So
That's right.
Lagoon Sleep. So I worked with them back in 2023, and I've loved their pillow. I've had it since. We kind of call it, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Sister of the Traveling Pants. It is Sister of the Traveling Pillow. Like, this pillow literally not even kidding. Right now it's in my daughter's room. We took it last night to my track meet because we had to drive 5 hours there and back.
5 hours?
5 hours one way. It was in California. So we got back at like 2:30 in the morning. That's why I'm so tired. But we brought my Lagoon pillow with me, and my daughter had it for most of the trip, as she always does. But yeah, it is the biggest fight in our family. I think we just need to buy everybody a pillow this Christmas, to be honest with you. But yeah, I love Lagoon Pillow because it is customized to each individual. They have a 2-minute test on their website, lagoonsleep.com. And you're able to just customize your pillow to your personal fit and need. And apparently mine fits a couple of people in my family. It's all good. But yeah, you can go on their website, take the quiz, 2 minutes long. They have all sorts of cute different animal names on there. I can't remember the name of mine, so I'm not even going to try to repeat it. And if you go on to lagoonsleep.com, you can do that quiz, and then you can also put in a discount code to save you 50% off, and the code is MOM. But yeah, we love it over here. We've had it for a few years, and I think it's time to upgrade to a few more. So
Same. My husband keeps taking mine too.
Mhm.
And Cal keeps taking
Father's
mine.
Day gift,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So good.
So
That's a good idea, actually.
I'm actually thinking about it for my husband now.
It's such
Really good.
a great. We love ours. So
Okay, awesome. I'm going to do a shout out before we get into our interview with Francesca. I am shouting out Tasha. She's running Tasha. I believe on Instagram. I believe she's a listener too. And she shared that she started running about 10 years ago, but it wasn't until after my son was born that I began running with real purpose. In February of 2023, I set a goal to train for my first 10K. I had little experience and I didn't grow up loving physical activity, but I pushed myself and discovered that running could actually be fun. That 10K finish line was a turning point. Running became my lifeline, something just for me. No matter how busy life got, I could lace up, have my husband watch our son, and reconnect with myself through running. Since then, I've completed several 5Ks and 10Ks. In March, I ran my first half marathon on a treadmill. And at the end of April, I will be running my first in-person half marathon. I hope to inspire others to know that anyone can run and that even after becoming a mom, you can find something that feels like you again. I just love everything that she said there.
It's awesome.
I'm all for the miles,
yeah, impressive.
Yeah.
right? I love that. I love she did that on the treadmill.
I know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel
Yeah.
like, reading that, I'm like, well, she started with a 10K. I think that's like the hardest distance.
For
And then
sure.
she ran a half on a treadmill. I'm like, okay, she loves it. Think about if it wasn't a 10K and it wasn't, racing on a treadmill. Like, wow, it's impressive.
Tough.
Very impressive.
Mentally
Yeah.
tough.
Yes.
And think about like how many moms, including ourselves, that found purpose in their running after becoming a mom, right? Like we think it's the opposite, but often that's the opposite is true. That was confusing.
No, yeah.
I didn't get much sleep last night either. You can't tell.
You're like a mere 10 hours.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I
only
wish.
had
Just
my
kidding.
9
I'm just
hours
kidding.
and 58 minutes last night.
That's all I got. No, I'm a 7-hour person, but when it goes below 7 hours, then I'm like,
Mhm.
not thriving. I'm not thriving. Okay, and that brings us to Francesca, 5 a.m. mommy runner, which I feel like you should actually change it to like 3:30 a.m.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I was saying that, but then I feel like it will turn even more people off. Like, there's a lot of people who I think just don't like my energy. Like, and that's fine. But like, then they would be like,
Hashtag let them.
I know, right?
Right.
I feel like they would be like, no, like we're not messing around with this woman.
Shocking. Like, how could you not love your energy?
Well, I appreciate that a lot. I love you for that. But I think that there's a lot of people. I genuinely like. There's a lot of people who don't like my energy, and it's fine. Like I'm not for everybody.
True. A lot of it is like it's sometimes hard, I think, for other moms if you're like in the thick of it and you haven't hit that spot where you're like, you know what, I am also going to set a really, really early alarm. And I think that it would be hard maybe to see that someone else is able to do it and thrive. And it might, and like some people might never get into that zone where it works for you. Like, I think I would be like that, not where I like resent the other person, but where I'm like 3:45 a.m., that's just not going to work for me. And I love that it works for you. But I think some people would be resentful of it, and that I think that would be more where it's coming from. And that's okay. If it doesn't work for everybody, that is okay. Like, I think we have to recognize that. But I think it's so motivational. And I can't tell you how many times I've thought of you and been like, you know what, Francesca, she already did her 20 miles and I was still sleeping. And not just because of the time difference, literally just because of me not setting an alarm.
I love you for that. Patricia's up the same time as me. Like, me and Trisha are like
Yeah.
are very much on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's like when I first found you, I was like, oh shit, like she's up early too. Like we're the only two people on Instagram on the East Coast that are awake and working out at that time.
Yeah.
It's true. There might be one or two other people like now and then, but for the most part, it's like a little bit later. It's like 5 or 6 a.m.
It's late.
not 4.
All right.
It's lit.
So
Panicking. Like if we started working out like after 5, I think we'd be like in full panic mode.
Yes. Yeah. This morning I woke up at 5 a.m. and I like shot out of bed like, whoa, like what just happened? Like
panic
that's
mode
late.
because then you're afraid it's not going to happen.
No,
or-
I just feel
Well, it's just
behind.
rushed.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel rushed.
You
It's
feel
rushed.
rushed. Yeah.
It's rushed. It's not as enjoyable. And like for me, like I have to be in the shower by like 6:45, and that is like a very quick getting myself ready. Like I have like 20 minutes to get myself together and out the door. And now with this new job, I actually have to wear real people clothes.
Yeah.
Whereas before, so I'm in pharmaceutical sales and not big pharma. I'm on the eye care side. So I deal with eye drops, not medicine, thank God. I did that for 9 years before, was not happy. So I left. But the only good thing about it was I got to wear scrubs. And now I have to wear like actual clothes and heels. And
Oh.
Wow.
God.
Game
That is
changer. Oh my goodness.
What really is like I really have to start laying out clothes now the night before because I can't think
Yeah.
about one thing. Before I literally just used to throw scrubs onto my sneakers and I was happy as a pig in shit. And now I'm like, now I have to think about clothes and I just if it's not running clothes, I don't want to think about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
I hear you. Scrubs are the best. I mean, they're just pajamas. Like
They are.
I
Yeah.
would hate to think about making that transition because I can get ready in 15 minutes, like shower and throw scrubs on, and I'm done.
Yep, that's it.
Real clothes, yuck.
Yeah.
Heels.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Real close. Yeah, for real.
Yuck.
Yeah, heels.
Yeah.
I would, when I was in TV news, I would only wear the heels when I was on camera. I just can't do it. I don't know. Can you guys wear heels with runner's feet?
Not
No,
anymore.
My feet
I
are just
used
like,
to.
nope.
No, not at all. Especially like the older we get too, I feel like the harder it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you can't chase after the kids as quickly either. You have to kick them off and like run after them.
I remember I was carrying a camera once and wearing heels, and I was in a very sketchy area, and a wild stray dog was chasing after me, and I was like, "This is it." I was like,
What?
if I weren't wearing these heels, I would be fine. I was okay. I survived, but after that day, I was like, I am not wearing heels unless I absolutely have to.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Was
That's-
crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Okay, so let's back up. Francesca, can you introduce yourself? Can you tell
yes.
us about yourself and a bit about your running journey?
Sure. So my name is Francesca Barbetta. 5 a.m. Mommy Run Hour on Instagram. I started running, so I'm 38. I started running when I was 17. For the most part, like I would run like here or there in high school, but then like really started running when I was 17. Had a trainer and actually walked onto St. Joe's University. I was a freshman there and I walked onto the track team. I really gave it everything that I had and the coach accepted me. Like they were,
Wow.
yeah, it was awesome. Like
That's so cool.
it was really cool. I was the only walk on.
Wow.
But what wasn't cool is at the very first meet, I broke through both my tibia bones.
Oh no.
Yeah. So overtraining, underfueling, the typical, like I had like the poor eating relationship in high school. It was my way of trying to control my life at the time. Because there was so much uncontrollable going on around me. And yeah, so then I found out I had compartment syndrome because I kept getting stress fractures. And then the athletic trainer there was like, you need to go get checked out for compartment syndrome. And I never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. Fascinating. Like, so fascinating. The fact that like they cut your calf muscle open.
It's so gross.
Did they do that for you?
On both legs, yeah. So I have scars on both my legs.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh God, it was so gross.
That's so crazy.
I get so mad because my mom, like, she never like took pictures like that, and neither did I. Like, I just wasn't into like recording myself or taking pictures. So like, I look back and I'm like, why did I take pictures of it? Like,
Yeah.
now old, I don't want to see it. Like,
Yeah. I want to see it. Come on.
the scars are like, I have so many people that ask me, and like, I think because I'm Italian and my skin is like dark, especially in the summer, you can really see the scar lines. Like, I do not heal well with scars at all. And so you just see them. And a lot of people are like, what happened to you? Like, I got attacked by a shark. Like,
Right. Knife fight.
What else do you say? Like, how do I go into this conversation with you? I'm like, I just had surgery. I'm fine. But I didn't think I was ever going to be able to like really run, right? I mean, you have surgery on both your legs and you have it because you're a runner. And then you're like, all right, well, I probably will be able to run here and there. So in my young 20s, I had to quit the track team because I just wasn't healing right. I had to go through a lot of PT. And then when I graduated college early, actually. Because I stopped the track team, I actually was able to graduate college in 3.5 years. I wanted to get ahead of the job market and be able to start working sooner than everybody else and get a job sooner than everybody graduating in May. So I did that, and I bartended on the side. I started bartending when I was 19. I think I was a sophomore in college. And I kept doing that until I was 27, and then I was done. I was done. I'm not a drinker. I hated dealing with people with drinks. And the thing that kind of put me over the edge was I literally got into a fight with a girl because my bar, like, the owner made people pay to use the bathroom, and I got really sick of fighting with people over that. And then she ran out on her tab, and I was like, I'm not paying for it. So I literally I'll never forget, my girlfriend Amber was with, we bartended all the time together. She might not have been there that night, actually. I took out my hoops, jumped over the bar, and ran after this girl.
Stop. I took out my hoops. Most important part of that story.
Most important part.
Oh my God.
If you're ever about to throw it down with another girl, you gotta take out your hoops. Like,
Hoops out.
my hair was already up. I was lucky. Like, and anybody who's at the bar that night always says, like, you'll really never forget. Like, you just hopped over the bar, and I'm like, I literally just want to boom. And
That's
amazing. Just can work for other areas of life, not just running.
Bar fight.
So anyway, that put me over the edge. I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm not here to fight people. Like, it's trashy to me. Like, I'm not here to do that. And I'm not here to pay your bill either. Like, I bought a house at 27, so I wanted to be able to put my money aside. But anyway, so in my younger 20s, I started figuring out I could run again. I had a really good foot and ankle doctor, and Dr. Nick Romansky, he is awesome. He used to actually be not the trainer, the foot doctor for one of the women's soccer teams. I forget, but I really trust him. And he's like, yeah, go for it. You're fine. I was like, all right. So then I started just running, started training for Broad Street Run, which is like a famous 10-mile race in Philly. We get people from all over the world that come out for it, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And then 2012, I did my first half marathon, and 2013, I did my first marathon, and it just went from there.
Wow.
So bar fight, you credit the bar fight to realizing you could run again? The moral of the story. You'll never know what you'll learn about yourself until you get into a bar fight.
Right. You're the sober one. You're the one serving the drink. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I just was not. Like, I was a teacher at that time, and I was like, people were starting to record things. I'm like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want that reputation or that bad look. Like, it's just trashy. Like, I was raised better than that. And my sister who's younger than me, my sister Angela, she'll throw it down and she don't care who's recording her. My sister Amelia would never. The baby of the four of us, she would never. She'll hold her ground, but like, if you're trying to fight the baby of us, there's something wrong with you. If you're trying to fight my sister Angela, okay, I get it. Like, she is scrappy, but she holds it down, and she is like, don't mess with me. She's nuts. But me, I'm like, she is. She's the third child. She's
good to know. So you never meet Angela.
I love
mess
her.
with her.
I love all my siblings. I'm the oldest of four. But that's the thing. So like, I'm always used to setting the standard high and making sure that like I am the role model for them. And I was just like, I don't want that. So thank God I quit bartending. And actually then that same year I quit teaching. I was a high school English teacher. And I dealt with discipline for 9th and 10th grade too. So imagine, right? You have somebody that's out fighting at a bar. Not fighting at a bar, but like trying to like get this from back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know though, as
go.
As a 9th or 10th grader, I think my teacher would be pretty badass if I heard that story.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, guess what though? I had to laugh. The kids, this is when we still lived in South Philly. So still living in South Philly in my house. I taught 45 minutes away. And the kids would say, they would laugh. They'd be like, we can tell you're getting angry because your accent gets really heavy. I'm like,
No way.
I love that.
Did you take the hoops
They
out
knew
too?
not to
Like
start
in the middle of
fights in my
class?
kids.
Literally.
Literally, I was like, I will rip you out of here by your ears and not care if your parents come after me. You're not going to fight in my classroom. I'll never. Oh, I can't. And then meanwhile, I was like getting in a fight with a girl over her tab because I didn't want to pay. I didn't want to pay it. I was like, I'm working hard for my money. Don't mess with my money.
All right, so catch us up to now. You tell us about you as a mother runner and what that's been like for you.
Well, as a mother runner, I don't get into fights. No, but seriously, so my first pregnancy, I didn't run. I did CrossFit. I did like the CrossFit Open. I taught spin class. I taught a 5 a.m. boot camp class. I loved it. Was it 5 a.m.? Yeah, it was 5 a.m. I had to think, was it 4 a.m.? It was 5 a.m. I loved it. It was awesome. I tried running. It didn't feel very good. And quite honestly, my boobs hurt a lot when I ran. So I was just like, forget it. I'm not doing this. I don't know why. I don't know why. They hurt so much. I was just like, forget it. So,
oh my gosh.
TMI, but like, that's really, like, for some people, it really is.
No,
like,
that's very relatable for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The body
The hormones.
first pregnancy. There's just so much change the first pregnancy. Like, your body gets used to it each time you go on, but the first time it's like, whoa, what is going on? I was also under like a lot of stress in my own house. So it was just different. So I did spinning and CrossFit and was happy. I ran a little bit. But then so my son, when he was born, we had a really complicated delivery. It shouldn't have been complicated at all, but unfortunately the doctors kind of failed. And Vincenzo's almost 6. He's my oldest. He turned 6 May 16th. He had to get pulled out with the vacuum. So I went into renal failure and I had preeclampsia. They didn't want to induce me because I wasn't 39 weeks yet. And I was like, all right, well, you have to, like, there's something going on here. But anyway, so he then, when I was pushing, my epidural wasn't connected. Thought I had it, but it wasn't connected. And then he wasn't getting oxygen and his heart rate really went down. So they pulled him out. I begged them to do a C-section at that point, and they didn't. They had a bunch of doctors in the room, and they used a vacuum to pull him out, but it popped off his head the first time. So then the second time they were able to get him out, and he came out and he was blue, and I thought he was dead. And that was probably one of the worst moments of my life. Didn't see him for a little bit, but they got him and I heard him crying after a while, and that made me feel better. So I finally got him. And then 3 weeks later, I knew something was off. And I was a single mom from when he was born. My mom was with me. And I said to my mom, I said, something's not right with him. Like, I just felt like something was wrong. And so I said, I'm going to take him to CHOP. We literally live like 10 minutes away from CHOP. Where I lived at in Philly, and took him there, and they did not the MRI, they did the CT scan, and found that he had a brain bleed. And they told me that at 4:30 in the morning, and I was crushed. Like, I literally was. I couldn't stop crying. I really thought that I was going to lose him. They immobilized him. They wouldn't let me. So I breastfeed all my babies. Even now, still breastfeed my 9-month-old, my third. And they wouldn't let me feed him or anything. And it crushed me. It really crushed me. So running at that point kind of took a back seat for me. But I got really lucky that my mom, come July, knew that I needed it. We had been in and out of the hospital so many times. And thank God, my mom's my rock. She's my best friend. She was with me through everything. So she knew that I needed to start running again for like my own mental sanity, because at this point I had so much fear and anxiety surrounding being, first of all, a new mom, a single mom, a mom with a child in and out of CHOP. Because he would go through these spells. They finally released us. They said his brain bleed wasn't active. They knew it was directly related to our delivery. Because most people, unfortunately, who come in with a child, if a baby has a brain bleed, it's because either the baby was abused or shaking baby syndrome.
Oh.
You're dealing with Philly, right? So you have a lot of that. So thankfully they saw like none of that happen. I would never hurt my children. So, which that part really shook me up too, because I'm like they put social workers on you and they question you. I'm like, but because they didn't do all the imaging first and they didn't get everything back, it's like an immediate reaction to the situation. And I'm coming in, I'm a single mom. So just a lot of bad looks, right? So that kind of shook me up. But so anyway, fast forward to July, my mom knew I needed to start running again. And she said, go. Like, you need it because you have way too much anxiety and you're never going to be able to be the mom that you need to be for Vincenzo if you don't get your anxiety under control. And I think because I work for pharma, I have no judgment against people who use medicine. None whatsoever. I didn't want it for me at all. Like, it was just my own personal thing. I just didn't want it for me. I didn't want to take medicine. So, at that point, like, I was definitely dealing with postpartum depression and anxiety. I mean, look at the situation surrounding it. It was understandable. So I remember I went out for that first run and it was hot. It was July and Vincenzo was taking a nap. And I went out and I felt like myself again. And I knew that's what I needed. So then I signed us up for a 5K in September and I pushed him in the stroller. I pushed him in a stroller where like he was facing me, not the Bob stroller yet because he was still too little. And I know you're really not supposed to do that, but it was a very paved street. And I was like, he'll be fine. Like, I'm running slow. It's okay. I'm running really slow. So we were fine. And that felt good. And then I signed us up for another one. And then I put him in the Bob. And then I signed us up for another 5K for Thanksgiving. It was his first Thanksgiving. He was 6 months old. So we did that. And then it kind of just went from there. And I trained for Broad Street with him. I was trying to do Broad Street for his 1 year birthday, like 1 year postpartum, and COVID hit. So instead we did Murph together. And so I don't know if anybody's familiar with Murph, but so it's a mile run. Then you come back, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 squats. And instead of having a weighted vest, and then a mile again. So instead of having a weighted vest on, I'm literally holding him doing the squats. I couldn't do the pull-ups because I moved in with my parents for, thank God, like right before COVID. And thank God I lived with them through COVID because I don't know how I would have done it otherwise with given Vincenzo's health situation and the whole scare around COVID. So yeah, that was really interesting, but it was a lot of fun. And then I finally felt like I could start training for a marathon again once I think he was 1.5 years old. Like, I felt like it's right again, COVID, like everybody's running around with these masks on. And I'm like, and again, no judgment on people. It was not for me. I was not running with a mask. You were not paying me to run with a mask. I was not running with a mask. So I went out and then unfortunately he got COVID. And that was a big scare. That was like a big ordeal. He literally got croup for the first time, a concussion, and then COVID. So Vincenzo, because of his delivery, he has mild cerebral palsy. So thank God my mom actually works for early intervention in the state of PA. She knew for me to get him an early intervention from when he was 5 months old. Otherwise, if I waited for his pediatrician, he would have been 1 year to 1.5 years old. He might not have ever been able to walk. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it made a huge difference for him. I swear it made a huge difference. And like, if I was uneducated around it, it literally would have made a huge difference in his life today. So I credit a lot of that, of him being able to walk and be a quote unquote somewhat normal child, because of my mom. So anyway, he got hit with that. And when he got hit with all that, I couldn't run. I had nobody to watch him. I didn't feel safe. I couldn't expose anybody else to his COVID. So I would either buckle him up in the stroller and just say, like, fresh air isn't going to kill him. Like, fresh air is going to be fine for him. And nobody was, like, literally the streets of Philadelphia were so quiet. But my favorite part to run with him was the Navy Yard. And he loved it because the airport's nearby. And so you see the planes flying overhead, and he just loved it. So we did that. We did a lot of stroller miles. And then I kept saving up, and I saved up for a treadmill. And honestly, like, so I got a treadmill and weights in my house. And my biggest tip for anybody with a child, with any child, whether you're a single parent or a parent who's solo parents a lot or anything, like I always say, save up your money if you can. Like, no matter how much you need to save up, get yourself weights and a treadmill. And I literally have people who message me and like, I got a treadmill. And they're so excited because they're like, I can run now. Because so many people cannot, especially if you're a parent, you can't run outside. Like, it just doesn't work that way. There's so many times where we have to run during a nap or first thing in the morning or when they go to bed. It doesn't matter when. And like, sometimes you just don't want to push a stroller.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I am like taking way too long to get to the damn point.
No, you're good. Are you kidding me? We're all pumped. We're like, and then what? And then what?
And this
so
is
long.
your story.
It's
Like,
Yeah.
I get to the point, girl.
No, this is your episode.
right.
It's really not. So anyway, so I have to tell this part. When Vincenzo was a year and a half old, my husband came into our lives. I met my husband. He's from South Philly too. We have mutual friends. And it was actually really funny because I'm in pharma sales. And given my background, like I grew up, my biological father was in and out of jail my whole life. It was not a pretty situation at all. I swore I would probably like never date a cop, right? I've watched them arrest my biological father so many times. Like literally when I was 5 years old, they ripped him out of my house. He was just not, he has a lot of demons to say the least. But so here I find out he's a detective, a narcotic detective at that, and a SWAT officer. And I'm like, how's this going to work? I sell drugs. Like I sell them legally, but like I sell drugs. And so, but it did work out. Like I swear, like being a single mom prepared me to be with somebody like my husband. Because you have to have thick skin. And you know, you have to have thick skin. You know, like he's just a different breed. But I love, he is the best man ever. And we hit it off. And obviously like so Vincenzo's going to be 6. So we've been together for 4 years, a little over 4 years. But he, to me, any man who can come in and raise a child that's not theirs, and literally like Vincenzo, that is his dad. Like you cannot tell Vincenzo otherwise. He and my husband in here are thick as thieves. Like they love each other. Like that takes a really special person to do that. And my husband, like, so I was training for the marathon, and he knew that I liked running, but I don't think he realized how much, and that literally all of our family vacations were going to revolve around my races. Like literally,
Like the classic mother runner story. They didn't know how much I was going to love running.
He didn't date me long enough to realize it.
Yeah.
So now I stuck. Like, you're stuck now. But like he literally will tell everybody, yeah, we plan all of our family vacations around Francesca's races.
I love it.
The cheapest part is people are like, oh, are you a professional marathon runner? And I'm like, no.
Yes, I am.
What was anything? I'm not even fast yet. Like,
Oh, bullshit.
I can't. It's classic. And I'm like, no, I just like to do it. So
Just like it. I love it.
Oh god. But in all seriousness, and I mean, listen, we got to see Italy last year because I found a half marathon I really wanted to do. So they got to go to Italy. They should.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. That's wild. So I thought that you were like there on vacation and hopped into it. Did you plan your vacation around that? That's unhinged. That's hilarious.
Literally, like, I found on Instagram something called, so I never heard of Lake Garda, Italy. I've been to Italy a number of times. I never heard of it. I never really went. So I went to Venice, Italy, but like I usually say like south. I like to be like more South Italy. Love Rome and Florence. Love. But so I'm seeing these videos for this Lake Garda, and when I tell you, it was breathtaking. I'm like, Nick, I have to go. Like, you have to let me. Meanwhile, I'm pregnant with our third. I'm pregnant with our third, and he's like, "You're gonna be like really pregnant," and I'm like, "Oh." He's like, "What if the baby there?" I was like, "Great, she'll have dual citizenship. Like, maybe we can get her."
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Genius.
Wow.
When I told her that, she's like, "You do not want to have a baby in Italy." I'm like, "Yes, I do. It's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be
Are
fine."
you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I totally. We would be fine. So, although
my
she was a
gosh.
little worried because of my first experience with a delivery, she knew I would be fine because I'm so like fit and healthy. She was like, "I have no worries, but given your situation before, you might not want to have a child outside the United States." So he was on board though. Like I got both of them on board. I was like, "I'm gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay." It was the best experience of my life. That race that's why like I'm such an advocate for women when they're pregnant to go do a race. It's so different when you're pregnant. The way that people cheer you on and just the feeling of running a race with your baby, like you don't have to go fast. You don't have to go fast. Just have fun with it. Like you're not there to go all out. If you PR, that's great.
Yeah.
But you can have a pregnancy PR. And I think that's even better. But just the environment, especially like international, people internationally were like, "You're running pregnant?" And like they were the coolest, nicest people ever. It was just way different than like they didn't have an attitude. They weren't judgmental. They were so encouraging and they kept checking on me. Like so many people would run by me. And like I had one woman, she's from Russia. It was she and a group of her friends were running the race too. And when I tell you, like throughout the race, I would see them and they would stop and check on me. They would like slow down their race to check. And I was like, incredible. Like how incredible are women that like we look out for each other. I thought it was so beautiful, but truly like I'm a huge fan of if you can run a race internationally, especially in Italy, where it was the best place to carb load. The best place.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And then you get a gelato after. It was great.
That's amazing.
It was sunny. And I actually told them I really want to go back next April for their marathon. That's on my bucket list. So
I don't think my husband's gonna like hearing this piece of advice. I'm gonna clip this and send it to him, and he's gonna be like, "I can't keep up with you."
We're going to Italy.
We're going to Italy.
it's, you know what though, it really is a fun way to like go see somewhere else. And so, well, you know what was really cool about it? Vincenzo actually, they ended up having a kids 1 mile race. So it was the day before. So Vincenzo got to race.
Oh, cool.
And then, yeah, so he did the one, and he was so cute. He dead ran up to me and kissed me in the middle of his race. He ran over to kiss me. Everybody,
Cute.
that was everybody's reaction. Everybody around melted, like
Cute.
where everybody's like kisses and hugs and everything. They were dying over the fact that he stopped to do that. But my husband decided to run it with him. Because Vincenzo really wasn't like. First of all, we weren't really comfortable with letting him go run a mile race around without us. Like,
Yeah.
Right, we're in a foreign country. Didn't seem very appropriate. Even though Italy's very safe and where we were is very safe, I still wasn't risking it. But also, Vincenzo didn't want it. He didn't feel doing it by himself. So my husband did it with him, and it was great. It was like a bonding moment together. But then so like I ran in Italy, and Giovanna technically ran in Italy.
That's so
I love
cool.
that.
Love
So
it.
how old is your middle child?
Leonardo's 2.5.
Okay.
Cute. Oh my goodness.
He is a true
So
middle
adorable.
child. He's something else. I have to run and lift so much to keep up with him.
Yeah.
You bet.
The middle child, like oh my God. I don't know if you guys remember, I posted this story. Leonardo drew all over the walls. I was literally, what was I putting up? maybe like garland or something. I don't remember what it was, or maybe something for Halloween. Oh, it was Halloween lights or something like that. And I literally was on our back deck, right outside the door. I gave him a crayon to color with, and I'm like, here you go. And I'm right outside the door. I put up these, I was out for 3 minutes. I came back in. There was blue writing. Oh, we still to this day can't get it off.
Wasn't that?
No.
It's just Leonardo's artwork. You know, people walk in, like, they look at the walls, and we're just like, it's a middle child thing.
Right.
We just blame the middle child.
All right, I have questions. We have questions about your postpartum running, and I personally have questions about your early morning wake ups and energy. But before we get into that, I want to thank our other sponsor of this episode, Happy Curves. So, this may be TMI, but this morning I had an early morning run. I met an old friend. It was actually really cool because she is the person that encouraged me to go to this gala, and that's where I met Jake. So I was like, you're the reason why. She was in town. She lives in Nashville. And she was like, you're the reason why I'm a big runner now, which I didn't know. I was like, that's so cool. Anyways, and so then it was like rolled right into soccer, no time to shower. We often don't have time to shower. And so I used the Happy Curves all over deodorant. Happy Curves has these products that they're like things that you didn't realize that you needed, but then once you start using them, they're just staples in your life. And so they have this all over deodorant that you can use from head to toe, including your nether region. And it smells like Tahitian vanilla. So you don't smell like roses after, you smell like a delicious, I can't believe I just used the word delicious and nether region. I'm sorry. You smell like a sugar cookie. Oh my gosh. But it's amazing. And I'm just gonna, maybe we'll edit this out. I don't know.
Guys, husband approved.
Husband approved. But it was great because, you know, then you don't stink and it bides time between the shower and yeah. And so you can find all their stuff on Amazon, and you can save 10% with Miles Moms 10. And I'm just going to stop there. I'm wondering if that goes up there with Olivia's hot dog nipples, that I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, did I say that?
You didn't see the term you said before recording.
Oh, that's right. It is great for swamp ass, guys. If you struggle with swamp ass in the summer months, this all over deodorant is what you want. And they also have a powder, and then they also have this wonderful poof that you can apply the powder with that Olivia mentioned she gave to her husband to try.
Listen, he is a firefighter. He is in turnouts. It is, however, hot in Las Vegas, and I feel like I am doing everyone a favor. Okay, by I feel like there's 9 other people that will be like, thank you for now. Now our fire truck smells like Tahitian vanilla. No, I'm just kidding. But listen, we promise to keep it real on this podcast. Okay,
That's right.
So if you want delicious nether regions.
If you do want a Tahitian vanilla, the lights.
Who let us have a podcast?
Seriously, thank you for stringing those together.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. Thank you for the verbiage. It was
that's
Thank you.
delicious.
It's delicious. Nothing more
Oh my gosh,
delicious
I
than
want
a firefighter with a Tahitian vanilla crotch.
Yeah, there you go. We take our ironclad crotch and we up it with Tahitian vanilla crotch.
Oh my goodness.
Back to you, Francesca.
And back to Francesca, our regularly programmed episode. Okay, so I do want, because we recently did an episode on when you felt normal running postpartum, and you just had, what was it, a 9-minute PR in your marathon, 9 months postpartum? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Insane. Congrats.
Which is insane. So
Yeah.
So you've had 3 babies, and I know you said you've done postpartum running with all of them. I know you said you didn't run much the first pregnancy. How, like, we would love to know your experience. When did you feel normal this last time? Because I think we all kind of landed on what the 1 year mark was, when we started to feel like our bodies started to feel more like their own. Like, we were still tired and dealing with other stuff, stress. But yeah, we'd love to know about your experience and like any tips or lessons that you've learned along the way.
Thanks. I don't think I still feel normal. Because I'm breastfeeding, so it's different. I think, and that's what like all of you had said. I remember did I listen to that episode on my way down to the marathon? I think that's the one I did. And I was like, I totally agree with this, that I was exhausted the day of the marathon. Giovanna was up all night just about. Vincenzo was up sick. I literally got less than 4 hours of sleep. I was not functioning.
Oof.
Yeah, it was brutal. And like the 2 weeks leading up, there's been a lot of change with my job, and we went to Texas for it. It was just a lot. So we've been, and like even this week, it was just a lot. We've been off schedule for the last 3 weeks. But anyway, I still managed a 9-minute PR, and I was happy with that. But also, and I think that like Olivia and I talked about this a lot. I couldn't help but to be a little disappointed because I had trained for much better. I was much faster in my training than that. But I was just so tired. I was so tired. It was so cold. Oh my God, it was so cold.
Yeah,
it was a quiet marathon.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like the crowd pulling you up. So here's, and I have to say, the Richmond, Virginia marathon that I did, that Trisha's brother did, that was a great marathon. The energy, the crowd, the vibe, the course, it was a good marathon. I got a PR at that marathon too. Listen, I've been slow. I've messed up 7 marathons out of the last 9. I've been much slower than I'm capable of. So I think that I'm going to have different bounds and lifts versus maybe some other. Everybody's different. I've been a runner for a long time, and I've done enough marathons. I just was very underfueled and very overtrained for way too long. And that was my biggest problem. So I started doing heart rate based training with Olivia and Shanna. We all had the same coach. And I started doing that when I was 12 weeks pregnant with my third. That made a huge difference for me.
Wow.
I also started doing nutrition courses, not courses, but like one-on-ones with Jackie, what's her name? Henriksen?
Oh, Endura Nutrition. Yeah.
She's made a world of difference because she also breastfed, and I wanted a mom who breastfed, who could really give me like realistic numbers and an outlook. But yeah, so that's my tip, is just make sure you're fueling right, because honestly, that was a huge thing for me. I mean, I have to take in 3,100 calories a day when I'm training for a marathon. I eat more than
goodness.
And it's not glamorous. It's not like, you don't feel sexy, you don't feel confident. I held on to the baby belly for a while. And that was a little hard because like my husband would send, like, we always send each other like pictures of the kids when they're a little bit younger and they're babies. And I'm like, if you're suggesting that we should have a 4th baby anytime soon, I might knock you out. Like, I'm 38, he's 39. Like, I think we're done, pal. So we'll send pictures, and like I'll look at myself when I was at postpartum and go like, man, I was much more fit. And like I stopped doing that finally, because I was just like, it doesn't benefit me, it didn't behoove me. I was a different person then, and I was underfueled. And that's what I keep telling myself, is like, I wasn't feeling right. So if you're a mom postpartum, I think showing yourself grace and learning that like comparison is truly the worst thing you do for yourself. It really is. Like, whether you're a postpartum mom or you're a mom or you're in your 20s, if you're in your 20s, forget it. Don't compare to social media. Like, it drives me crazy. You have to fuel yourself. I ran an ultra marathon with Giovanna, my third, Giovanna. She was 5.5 months postpartum. And now this marathon. Somehow I track like the younger kids. Like, I think, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything, I think I look younger. I don't think that. I think other people think I'm younger than I am. Like, I get that a lot. Like, when I say I'm 38, people are like, really? And I'm like, yes. Like, I've always gotten that. So I think that like they thought I was like in my 20s and like close to their age. So in both races, I had 20-year-olds kind of run with me. And I'm like eating, I'm taking my gels, or I'm eating a pretzel, and they're like, Dan, how much are you eating? Like literally at both marathons, they're like, how much do you eat? And I'm like, I got a baby to feed. I got 3 kids. Like, they're like, you do? And like literally this 20-year-old kid, they're like, they would say like, oh yeah, I'm just running faster. I'll eat when I'm hungry. And I'm like, I don't have the energy to get in a conversation with you right now. Like, I was 24 of this marathon. I had it was a senior in college. And he's like, how many gels have you taken? He's like, he hitched onto me. Like I was his pacer from mile 15 to 26.1. And then he took off because he told me he can't have a mom with 3 kids beat him.
Oh,
Did you take the hoops off at the finish line?
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
And I'm like hauling ass and like, all right, like I'm trying to get there, but like he went. And he was just like, yeah, like I'm running fasted. I didn't train. And I just literally was like, my man, I'm just too tired for this conversation. I can't have it. So that is my biggest tip. Like eating is a huge thing. Like people think it's a negative and it's not. Like I actually had a woman attack me on social media because she said I was promoting overeating. And I'm like,
Wow.
Oh my
like, I'm not going
Lord.
to give a middle finger on the podcast, but like I really want to give her a middle finger. And I'm just like,
Oh, you can do it. Give
Yeah.
us a double bird. Yeah, there you go.
I'll do it too.
Promoting overeating. That's a new one.
That's crazy.
That's so weird.
I literally just blocked her. And she actually made negative comments to our friend Amanda Katz. And we all love her.
Ah, yeah.
Wow.
And
I would
I
have loved
messaged
to see
Amanda
her
and I'm like,
response.
is this the same girl that said something to you about your eating? And she's like, yes. And so like me and her were like going off about it. And I'm just like, we can't give her energy. Can't give her energy. So, but yeah, that is a big tip for me.
And that was a tip. I think you shared that tip too for maintaining your energy throughout the day for your early morning wake ups is fueling as well, right? So yeah, because when I did the 3:30 a.m. way back when, and so I think I have like PTSD sometimes when I look at you because I just think of like being so tired and drained, and I was not getting the sleep, and we were not getting to sleep on time. You know, we just were a late household. Everybody goes to bed
You've
late.
always said that, yeah.
Yeah, and when I was talking to you and a few other moms, I also realized like I was not at all fueling, and so many people said the importance of fueling to maintain that energy, which no duh, but at the time I wasn't thinking about it. I remember saying to Jake like, oh my God, I feel like my body is eating itself because I was just so tired and running so much and not sleeping. So that's a tip, right? So yeah, I look at you and I'm amazed, but I'm also like, oh my God, I'm so tired just watching her at 3:30 in the morning, running 20 miles on the treadmill with her baby next to her. But
The baby was sleeping, thank God. The baby, like early morning, I'm very big on a sleep schedule. Like my kids all from when they're about 4 months old. Sorry, I'm Catholic. Like I'm doing the sign of the cross.
I'm gonna knock on wood for you.
Just myself. At like 4 or 5 months after the regression, they all went to bed around 6:30, 6:45.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my boys even though they're about to be, Vincenzo's about to be 6 and Leonardo's 2.5, 7:15 the latest.
Holy
like,
smokes. That's incredible.
Yeah, like they're up around 6:30, which it's hard for me to shower, but thankfully my husband, if he's home, like he takes care of, I'm very lucky. He takes care of breakfast so I can do what I need to do to then take care of them and get them out the door. But yeah, I'm very strict on their schedule, like to the point where even like with naps, like they nap. Tomorrow we're missing Easter with my family because my family's doing it at 12:30. I'm like, you could come to my house and stay up with them tomorrow night then. Because their schedule is going to be thrown off, and then I'm too scared that Giovanna is going to wake me up in the middle of the night. I won't make sense. So that's when I'm like really big on that. Was me though. Like I found that worked, and especially being a single mom. Right, like, first experience as a mom was a single mom, and it was just me with Vincenzo. I didn't have anybody else to rely on waking up and taking care of this baby. You know, like. There was no shared custody. There was none of that. Like it was all on me every night, and I'm breastfeeding. So I had to kind of have that sleep schedule. You know, so different. Every house is so different. That's where like, I don't ever want people to look and judge and say, oh, I can't do what she does because she doesn't live in my house and we go to bed late and I can't wake up early. Like I've had a lot of people like really kind of lash out for me like that. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna sit here to apologize for like the fact that this works for me and my family.
Right.
Like, it sucks it doesn't work for you, but like I promise there is a way where running does work for you. Like, I mean, Whitney, you still figure it out, right? Like, even
that's the thing. I feel like if it's important to you, you figure it out and you just accept that it looks different for other people and no way is necessarily better than the other.
That's it.
Right.
It really is.
And
Like,
if you don't need to wake up that early, like why
would
there's
you?
no point. Because I feel like, Francesca, do you get that a lot? Like people, they feel almost guilty that they don't get up earlier when they see like us up at those times. It's like either people can be very judgmental or it's like, oh, well, maybe I should get up that early. But if you don't have to and you don't like to, then why bother? Like,
I agree.
You know,
100%.
Some people, they don't have to. Like, some people don't have to go to work. And like, I mean, to me though, I have to say, like, Olivia, you guys have it down. Like, you have your system down where like it works for you to run when the kids are up. I personally, like, I really try to avoid it because I just, with 3 of them, I'm like, I can't. And it's just me. It's not as comfortable. So I'll even do it during a nap time, but you're out of the nap stage, aren't you?
I am. And if I had a third though, it'd be completely different. Like, what would I don't know what that would look like. Honestly, it would of course happen during the baby's nap and then my older kids would still be awake. Yeah. I'm sure that's how I would do it, but it would be ever evolving. And also remembering like when people have like not school age children yet, and then eventually they go to school and, you know, and if it's one of those things where school starts really early and you have to get your workout done really, really early, that's one thing. Or, you know, if you can do it while they're at school, like you should never wish for somebody to have to suffer and like do something that doesn't work for them. Like for me, I don't know if I would have the energy at 4 a.m. to do a massive speed workout. Like I genuinely don't know if I could put that out right now. Cause even if I do it at 6 a.m., sometimes I'm like, this would have gone better if it was just a little later, you know? And like, that's just where I'm at. And that's routine. Those are just routines that we're currently in. And, you know, my son will be in school next year and I'm sure I'll have to adapt to a whole new schedule. Who knows? But it's just one of those things where like, especially I'm sure with your baby, cause you started running. When did you do your first race postpartum? It was early.
It was early. It was early. I think a lot of people are like, I don't ever want anybody to compare to that. I started running when Giovanna, I started training. I messaged coach and I said, I need to, like, for my mental health. Anxiety and depression. We hit a little bit of an all-time low in our house in the summer. Around some like really personal things. So for my own mental health, I just said, I need this, you know, I need it for me. And I think some people look and are like, oh, you rushed it. But that's not for anybody to say like, and I can't speak about what was going on in our house at the time. Maybe one day I can, and maybe one day it will help somebody, but right now is not the time. But it really was hard. It was really hard and I needed it. And that really helped me a lot. Like, honestly, like I was dealing with crap all 3. It's like, for whatever reason, it seems like as soon as I have a baby, something comes up and something pretty significant and something really heavy. So all 3 times running has saved me. Just in my mind, you know what I mean? Like just with my own mental health. So I think it's really hard for everybody to group somebody into a category and say, you know, mom shouldn't run postpartum. You're putting yourself at risk for injury. But I think when you know what to do, like I am a coach, like I know what pelvic floor workout to do. I go to a PT every week. Like I was doing what I need to. I don't need to share that on social media. Nobody needs a book from me about what I was doing. Like, I just feel like half the time, like it becomes white noise. You know what I mean?
I think what's also important to know.
I did a lot of things early with Giovanna. This 3rd time around, I really did. But I took my time and I ran really slow. Like my easy pace was like a 12:30. It was ungodly slow. And I felt slow and I was over it. And now it's like at a 10-minute pace. Like just in the last 9 months, like it's increased to like a 10-minute pace is my easy pace. Maybe a bad day if I'm really tired, like 10:30. but like my speed's picking up significantly. Like I'm in the 7s, and I haven't been in the 7s in a really long time. So like I'm excited to get down more and more. But yeah, like you said, like, you know, even Shanna, like with 6 kids, you know, you guys have to have a routine.
Yeah, we're like you. I'm like I think even Olivia knows, like my 3 youngest kids are at bed by 6:30 p.m. every night. Like it's that's our routine. They're used to that. If they even stay up till 7, which they will ask, they are just like so like distraught. They are so confused because their body is so used to going to bed at 6:30, like on the dot. And then my older kids, 8:00, like bedtime, brush teeth. They know the routine. That's how we thrive. Like, so when you were talking about that schedule, like I literally was like, do what's best for you guys. Like, but for us in my household, like that is how we function. Like that is how we get through it. So like, I relate so much to you on that. Like without that, like strict bedtime routine, our house would be a nut. Like it already is. Like it already is, I guess here, but it would be even worse. Like,
how's everybody feeling with the track meet yesterday?
They're screaming behind me for sure. I'm gonna go. My husband's at work. He works Saturdays now, so that's why we had to rush back. But here we go. Here's already.
Here we go.
He's fighting and somebody's hitting somebody. But yeah, and they're doing great. So yeah.
And Francesca, I think that like you brought up a good point, how people can be judgmental when they're seeing you go back and start running early postpartum, but there is no hard and fast rule. Like this is when you need to start running. I mean, we have guidelines now that recommend 12 weeks postpartum, but that's just a guideline and recommendation. So some people, and I'm one of them, I started running very early on with each of them and was totally fine. And some people need longer. So it's like, again, with the judgment that we can cast on other people, it's like whatever works for you. And you know your body better than anyone else.
It's true. And I think that like if you have the resource, or like even I think there's some PTs who take insurance, like mine does. So I'm really lucky. I went to PT for free for every week. Like I took advantage of that, right? Like I really took advantage of that. If people don't have that, like it really breaks my heart. But there's so many good online apps. Like if you find the right person, like don't just go to any influencer. Like please make sure that they
like Trisha.
Crazy sometimes. Like I'll be honest, there was a product and it was my own fault. Like a bunch of influencers use this one certain brand of creatine, and I got it, and then I realized it had all these other ingredients, not just creatine. And I'm like, I just want straight creatine. Like, so I like actually returned it because I'm like, I don't want this. Like, I try to be like pretty like natural, like organic, whole eating. I have a gluten allergy, like, so I just really try to fuel but when you're a runner, like you have to eat processed food. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. But I think it's really hard to get at 3,100 calories on straight whole foods.
100%.
It's for me, that is a whole nother job I don't have time for.
Yeah.
And I'm breastfeeding.
100%. Yeah.
I really do try to watch. And I was like a little nervous about taking the creatine breastfeeding her, but like I really do want to start it. And pretty soon, like, at some point she'll be done nursing. And I don't know. I researched it enough. I'll try. But that was a mistake I made, right? Like I listened to all these influencers and I'm like, but this doesn't work for me. So you have to find what works for you. Like you can't just listen to your favorite influencer sometimes.
Right. Just because she's hot.
Yeah. Right?
Just because she's hot.
So
I don't know what it is about, like, I think that like when women like set out for their goals, I actually think it's so sexy. I think there's something so hot about it. And like, you don't have to be like the most beautiful woman. Who cares? Like, if you take care of yourself, to me, that's so sexy. I love that. Like, and I love hyping up other women and making them feel good about that, because I remember a time when like people put me down and didn't let me feel good, and it sucks.
Absolutely.
Miles with Jenna. I forget Jenna's last name. She messaged me and she's like, I really have to tell you, like, I really appreciate how much you hype other women up. And I'm like, the world is so hard on us and women are so hard on each other. We need people like all of you hype women up. And I love that. And I admire that so much. And that's why, like, I feel like you're my kind of girls. Like, I vibe with that. If you're a woman who hates and puts others down, like, I don't have time for you.
Yeah.
And that's just
totally. Totally. It's crazy. I like the amount of judgment that happens. It's like why not just like listen to what people have to say and be like, that doesn't work for me, but I'm glad for you. Like even the, like, oh, I love that for you. Like, I know that has like the most condescending tone, but when you say it in like a more happy way, it's like, I do love that for you. I think that's fantastic. It would never work for me, but I do love that works for you. And like, that has to be my attitude about so many things. Cause otherwise I don't think I'd like anything. Honestly, I'm like, like, yeah, like I eat super different. I eat like a toddler. And so when people tell me all these healthy things that they're eating, I'm like, I love that for you. I could never, but I love that.
It's just, for whatever reason, like women are just stuck in this, it's almost like bullying, or abuse, where it's a cycle, and we feel criticized. So then if we're pushed down, then we feel like, okay, well then we need to push down somebody else to make ourselves feel better, I guess. Or if you see somebody else thriving for whatever reason, that's automatically like a negative impression on yourself. That, oh, she can wake up at 4 a.m. and work out, so that makes her better than me, so then I'm going to have to pick her apart to make myself feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. And we see it all the time, right? Like whether you're really fast or whether you wake up early or whether you look really sexy with all these big arm muscles, like whatever it is, like women just come at each other. And especially when you're a mom and you're like, if you involve your kids in anything or put your parenting style out there, forget it. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
It's so true. Can you imagine if men did that? Like men are never going to sit around and be like, well, he just does it like that. And like they're like, they would be like, that's cool, bro. And then move on. Like that's literally how they are. And I'm like, that's so refreshing. I mean, I do like a little bit more thought than that, obviously, or like to ask questions, but they're like, they're not wired that way where it's like, just the constant comparison, or maybe they're not as vocal about it, I guess. But
I don't think they compare. I don't know. I remember one time my husband, my sister asked my husband, like, what do you think about when you go to bed each night? And he was like, how awesome I am. And like everything awesome I did that day. And I just looked at him and I was like, wow, we could not be more different. Like I go to bed thinking about all the things I wish I did better that day,
That is
and then planning like the next day of, how's the schedule going to unfold. I don't know. I feel like men, they're in their own little world and they don't see, which is funny because you would think if going back to caveman times, like it was all, I mean, right? It's all about comparing and like who has the biggest.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing they care about.
I was talking about feathers.
Yeah.
I sure hope so. fall asleep thinking about how like in middle school I would have worn my shorts backwards or something. And I'm like, oh, still traumatized.
Was it the crisscross? Is that why?
I don't know.
Like crisscross, they wore their pants backwards, and that was.
Oh no, it was just an accident. Like I just an accident.
On purpose when I was in grade school.
Oh really?
Trisha, come on, back me up here, Francesca. Crisscross, make jump, and they wore their pants backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I was in gaucho pants.
Gaucho pants.
Oh, where have those gone? Gaucho pants.
I'm sure they'll come back. Olivia was still in the womb, I think, when crisscross was out.
Yeah, but she knows these references somehow.
I do.
I think because she lived in Germany and they're just
way behind the times.
You're still in the 90s right now, I think.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh
my goodness.
I feel like with the whole mom thing, I feel like it comes from society though too. Like our comparison, like the other, like a couple, like I don't even know when it was. I ran a half marathon not long ago, and I was at church, and this dad came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you ran this marathon. You were so fast." This was like, I think this was like last year before my marathon build. And anyways, and he was like, "You were so fast." I told my wife, "Look how fast she is. Like you need to get out there and train." And I was like, whoa, don't be telling your wife that she's not doing enough. Like she showed up for this race, you know, and anyways, he was kind of like degrading his wife to me. And I was not okay with that. Like, I literally was like, you're disgusting. Like, I was kind of upset, like appalled, and I like listened about it after, because I was like, you ever talk like that about me to anybody else and their wife, I will be so mad. But I just realized that like we get a lot of comparison that's not like, it's unsolicited, like this comparison of you should be this and you should be that because so is this. And so I think it's naturally like ingrained in us at a very young age to compare ourselves to the surrounding people around us. And it's not because we want to be like that, but I think it's just because society makes us like, you're out to outnumber the next person, the next female. And it's like, it's so messed up, because I don't feel like men are raised like that. Like, I don't feel like it's the same. And I think that's why a lot of us have to like, I don't know, train our brain not to be like that. But you can be excited for somebody else's win, and you can also be excited for or you can be sad about your loss. Like, you can be, both can coincide. Like, both of them can be present. Like, I just saw Tessa's reel the other day, and it was so awesome. And it's like, she can thrive right now in her marathon build, while some other mom may not be. And it's okay. Mm-hmm. And you can still cheer on a mom that is thriving. Like, that doesn't knock or take away from what you can or can't do by cheering somebody else on, you know? And I just wish society taught us that at a very young age, because I don't feel like it does for females.
I think it's worse too. I feel like there's this war, like the you are enoughness is trying to overtake social media. But I just think, and I see it in my daughter too, that it's just so hard to feel comfortable in your own skin these days. Like with social media, every time you open it up, there's ads talking about like whatever problem, you know, are your pores too big? Are your eyebrows not bushy enough? If, you know, is your forehead too big? Like I mean, everything is under a microscope. Everybody's being compared, whether it's influencers or ads or just like regular people where you're just seeing their highlight reel. And conceptually, you know, it's just a highlight reel, but it's still in your face and it's still planting those seeds. And so, yeah, I think comparison is getting worse, even though
I just wish it
people
could.
are like, sorry, I feel like these people, they put out there like, here's my highlight reel, and then they'll do a post and be like, but it's just a highlight reel. Here's how I really am, but it still doesn't like negate everything that you're seeing that looks so perfect.
I think it's just so hard to also show. I mean, like so much of motherhood, if you show a lot of the negative, you can't show most of the negative stuff. A lot of it also involves so much poop that you're like, no one wants to see that. Like, let's be honest. Like, I mean, one time Shanna came and dropped something off at my house, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Both of my kids pooped at the exact same time. So now my house smells horrible, and it will for the next hour. And it's so unglamorous, right? And so like we share these moments because, you know, I think a lot of moms try to bond on like, oh my gosh, this child is so difficult, or I dealt with this morning, because you're not sitting there being like, you know, oh my gosh, my son, he's just this angel, he's so perfect, blah blah blah. When, you know, because you do block out all those icky things that happen, you know, and so much of motherhood is unglamorous that we're not posting. Like, you know, if you saw my car right now, you'd be like, that's the most unglamorous thing I've ever seen in my life, you know, but I share where we've gone after, you know, like I'll go clean the car and then I'll show like we'll go bike riding or something, you know, and it's hard to really associate that these people that we're seeing looking so beautiful, so put together, and they're really nice homes, that they do deal with the same amount of poop that we if you've got 3 kids or 2 kids or 6 kids, you know. And no, I think that's so much of it though, is like we technically can bond on all the same things, and just how we approach it and handle it is just going to be different. And if that could just be more of the narrative, and so many of us start our social media to share our version of motherhood, and then because it might not look like yours or somebody else's, it gets torn apart, or it must be nice. And it's like, what if it is nice and I want to just share it? Like, what if that is it, you know? And like the idea that we should all be suffering, or struggling is ridiculous, right? I mean, I think that's what's so crazy is getting into the comparison and not wanting to learn from it at all.
I love that. Yeah.
Trisha,
Yeah.
you okay over there?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
working?
Now it's working.
I was like, where is she going?
Yeah, I went to go get the door, and then like it just.
Oh. Uh-oh.
But I'm
there.
good. We're back.
Good. Perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like the moral of the story is get into a bar fight. No, I'm just kidding.
Take out the hoops first.
Yeah.
Take out the
Always
hoops first. Make sure your hair is pulled back. I love that. She's like, I was lucky. My hair was pulled back. So I was ready. But you know,
That was so good.
you don't know anybody's full story. Like you look at Francesca and people will judge her and be like, oh, she went back way too early. And it's like, you have no idea what was going on and how badly she needed to start.
Yes.
Running. You know, and it's like, we all are out here just trying to do our best. Our journeys are different. Our stories are different. The way that we do things are different, but let's not put each other down. You know, we're all trying to do this same thing and the right thing, you know?
Yeah, we really don't know each other's backgrounds. And like, you know, again, there's a lot that maybe one day I'll share, but like, I can't, like, I don't, you know, statistically, like I should have been 16 and pregnant. I shouldn't have gone to college. I shouldn't have gotten my master's degrees, let alone I got 3. Like I shouldn't even be a marathon runner, right? Like when you come from an incarcerated father and you come from abuse and addiction and divorced parents, like your life is just on a different trajectory. Like it's just different. Like the statistics against you, it's not fun. And so I think that instead of judging people, you know, and even like when people judge single moms, like that's why I think I put up a reel one time talking about how like I was embarrassed because I know the stigma that comes around single moms. Like they're probably like, oh, like she's a whore, like flat out. Like, well, why else would you be a single mom since you were a single mom from the day you were born? Like,
I was like, wow.
For real, though. Like, but it's not true.
What
like,
if I am a whore, Francesca?
So that shook me. I was like, whoa.
Calling me a whore?
You
Take my hoops out.
Backstory. And even like what's continuing now, you'd be like, holy shit. That's a lot. That is a lot, like from when like just the things my own biological father did to me. Like just the things that this man has done. It's just literally like it would blow your mind. Like you look like some people are like that, like people do that, and I'm like, yes. But anyway, so it just like really for me, that's really what I try to promote on my page is just people, you know, I don't think that social media should be for about posting everything. Like people don't need to know everything about. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Yep.
I'm not gonna sit there like when my kids are having meltdowns, I am not pulling out my phone.
Exactly.
And meltdown.
Yeah, of course.
No, like that's not a part of motherhood I need to bond over. Like,
yeah.
Right, like it's just not me. Like it's just not me. Like, or if I'm having a moment where I'm crying, like because I got a letter from the courts, like I'm not gonna show you me.
Yeah,
no,
dealing with it.
And it's like, but that's not me. Like other people could do that, but it's not me. Like, Trisha, I know it's like it's not, and all of us handle things.
It doesn't even cross my mind. Like, oh, I'm having a moment. I need to pull out my phone so I can show the world, like, what a train wreck I really am.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, let me show you what it's really like to get certain certified mail. Like,
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I'm being served. Let's go talk to the officer real quick on live Instagram live.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just it's like certain things, and I'm like, to each their own, but like, you know, and people are like, oh, Instagram's so fake, and I'm like, I don't know. I think that like a lot of us are pretty real on there. Like we just post it. Like but you know, they're like, oh well, it's fake that you don't show what really goes on in your head. It's not your fucking business. Like
yeah. And what would that do for you? Like validate you in any way, shape, or form, or what? Like why?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do you really want to see what time I go to bed? Like, do you need to know? Like, that, like I can't tell you the amount of people are obsessed. And I'm sure Trisha gets this too, obsessed with my bedtime and how much sleep I get.
All the time.
The nasty comments from men, women, everything about my sleep.
Weird.
What do you care? Like, why? Why do you care about my
What do you eat? What time do you go to bed? I don't know.
Yes.
Food. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Why do you
My
care?
my favorite is when people ask me what I eat and I'm like, you don't want the answer. Like I promise you do not want that answer because it's either you're either going to try to give me a health lesson or you're going to be really mad that that's what I eat. Like I'm telling you. And because like anybody who spends time with me, it's like my mother-in-law, she's just like, I hate you. And it's like, I run a lot of miles. Do not like question this, but it's the number one question that I get asked is what I eat. And it's like I'll never make a what I eat in a day video.
Never.
Thank God you won't.
Yeah, it would be gross.
It's not even that. Like, sometimes if somebody has like a different recipe, I'm like, cool. Like, I want to see that.
Yes.
I don't need to see what people eat a day. Like,
Yeah, I've never watched one in full, and not been like,
I feel like they never show enough food too. Like
Never.
I'm guilty of that myself. Like I'm like, shoot, I haven't ate breakfast yet, and it's already like brunch. It's like,
yeah,
I just like as moms, like we're so busy. We have great days, and then we have days that we may be hitting up Burger King for the third time. Okay. I just I don't know. I don't feel like they're helpful. Like I feel like you can give snack ideas, you can give a meal idea, but like to give a full rundown, it's like, what are you trying to replicate? Nobody should be replicating the same meal eating habit throughout the day.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
And like again, like you try not to judge even on people who are doing
that.
Yeah,
and there's no
right.
Like,
and it's like it's cool if that works for their Instagram following. But like I think for moms too, we're so busy. Who has time to pull out a phone? You're literally trying to shovel food in your mouth.
Yeah. And also like it's like, oh, this is what I made for myself. My kids will eat 90% of it, and then I'll go have to make a second one that I don't want a video doing. Yeah. I do think that if someone thinks that they're making a video and that they do a whole what I eat in a day and they think it's helpful, or that someone has found one helpful, that, I hope that I hope that it resonates with someone, that they're like, you know what, maybe I am not eating enough in a day. I don't know that marathoners are the people to be doing that though, because you're right. We do have to eat processed food. It's plain and simple. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, I will have sweet potatoes, ground beef, and whatever, broccoli. But you don't want to see all the other things that will go into my dinner to supplement that, because that's like, yep, exactly. That's just because it wouldn't be enough. Francesca, that was your 9th marathon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really think you're going to be on such an upward trajectory. Like, I think you'll be seeing a lot of PRs from now on because of where you are in your postpartum journey, and you've learned so much. And I think that that's something that is really worth just noting, is that you've had a lot of marathon experience at this point. And like, yes, you PR'd at 9 months postpartum, and that might not look the same for everybody, but you also were not new to marathoning.
Yeah.
So I think that that's really worth just like putting in, if anybody is watching how you're doing this, is that you've had so much experience learning, and that you've used a lot of resources. You talked about going to PTs and talking with a nutritionist, and you have a coach, like that. You didn't just do this like flying by the seat of your pants. Is that the same? Yeah. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for the 10th marathon because I'm saving it to be with you guys in Chicago, and like you said, Chicago's gonna be like the big one for me. Like I cannot. I'm like, my husband's like, do you think you're gonna go for it? Because he knew I was a little disappointed in my PR, and some people hate on that. Like, I'm allowed to be, right? My training, I thought it would be a little bit better. It's okay. It comes with marathon training. He's like, do you think you're gonna do another one soon? I'm like, no, I'm waiting for Chicago. I'm not being stupid. Like, I'm waiting for. You can be patient, and like, I don't need to be somebody just for Instagram to go out and do another marathon. Like, don't do that. Do what's right for your body.
Yes.
Look to people and social media. And I build more. I think whoever follows me, it's beautiful. It's great. I don't care. Like I can't live my life worrying about social media. I just can't. I won't do it.
And we love you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a very full life. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
That's amazing.
taking the time to come on.
No, thank you guys for
Yes,
having me.
thank
I think I
you.
rambled on too much earlier when you asked me
No.
that. Sure.
It was
No.
great.
you're amazing. Are you
Yes.
kidding me? This was for you to tell your story. So
Well, my story's a little too long, I think.
No, it's not.
stop.
Oh,
Not
no,
at all.
it
We were all enthralled. We're
We
like,
need
what's
a
were all
next?
like,
no.
wow.
We can talk offline if you guys had questions about like some of the things and like my upbringing that my biological father has done, like, or like things I go through now. Like one day I'll share it, but I also wouldn't want to hurt my siblings, like,
Yeah.
because they have a
Mhm.
different view of him. You know,
Mhm.
they know what's going on, and they always say like the things that happened to me were the worst.
Yeah.
And so they understand why, like, I really don't bother with him at all. But you know, it's different. So I think that when you look at stuff like that, that's kind of like, that's sometimes I think what sets my story a little apart and makes it a little bit different than some people. So hopefully one day I can share that, so that way it'll be more meaningful and people can relate a little bit more.
Well, we really appreciate you sharing and being open and learning more than, what meets the eye on Instagram too. Like, know that it's a great story, but I didn't know all the chapters. So we'll share all the backstories on our Patreon. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
You gotta pay for that one.
Francesca's hair tutorial. That should go on our Patreon.
Yeah,
I
for
know.
real.
Yes.
So pretty.
Beautiful.
So pretty.
Yeah.
It always looks so good way too early in the morning.
No, it's usually actually not blow dried. Like that's the whole thing. Like I usually like pull it up.
But it's always like a beautiful braid and I just
It's like a rat's nest.
no, definitely not.
It looks great. Okay.
It always looks great.
Thank you. I'm so humbled that you guys asked me to be on here. I truly hope that I didn't ramble too much, that I didn't lose any of your
So
followers.
good. Can't wait to
No,
amazing.
if anybody leaves, it's because I said delicious nether region. So that's why.
That takes the cake for me.
I am
That
the
was
weird
good.
shit we've said.
Yeah, because now like I might use like make the bedroom smell a little bit nicer.
All right, we have to head to gymnastics here, guys. But
Yeah.
yes.
Have fun.
Sweet.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, we have a haircut, so that's
thank
where
you,
we're
guys.
off to. But thank you so much. Thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Again, we have bonus stuff on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Miles with Moms podcast. Please leave a review. We don't have one to share this week, so it's so sad.
Come on,
So we would
listeners.
love it if you take the time to leave a review, bad or good. We'll read it and take it into consideration. So, all right, bye guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.